please welcome Miss Rebecca Lovell to the stage.
The Great Homeschool Convention isn't just for homeschool parents. I would say that any parent or teacher or anyone who's around kids could really benefit from sitting through an event like this. These days there's a lot of information that our kids miss out on if we don't take their knowledge into our own hands. And so I think sitting through an event like this gives you resources on how to be a better educator no matter what the situation is for your family. So go ahead and click the link below and register for you and your family. There are 4 more locations this year where they're hosting the event. The next one is in Missouri this weekend from March 27th to the 29th. The next event will be in Ohio. That should be a really big event. Joel Salatin and John Lovell will be speaking at this event. So I expect a big homestead crowd. That one is from April 24th to the 26th. The next event will be in California from June 12th to the 14th. And then the last event of the year will be July 10th through the 12th in Texas. So like I said, go ahead and click the link below to register and enjoy the video. If you wouldn't mind, go ahead and subscribe to the channel if homeschooling or homesteading is something that you're into. It would really help me out and I'd be honored to have you around. Enjoy the video. Well, today's going to be a pretty exciting day, at least for a homeschool parent. Today, my wife and I are going to the Great Homeschool Convention here in our hometown. So I decided to take you guys along with us. So first things first, we're going to get this in the compost and get the girls fed. And of course, I decided to get dressed to go out before I remembered that all this needed done. So now I get to go look like I'm a farmer, covered in chicken food dust and dirt. Let's go.
Can you hear me? Tell me, can you hear me? I've been calling out for help, still don't see nobody near me. I'm down it, almost underground it, so deep in the valley I can't even tell you which way is the mountain. God, the only word I got, I could probably plant a garden, all this dirt I got. Trail of broken hearts behind me from the hurt I bought. Sometimes I really start to wonder if I deserve my spot. Cause I'm just a man who's got blood all on his hands. But does a humble sinner still deserve a chance? Hey, say a prayer for me, I think you would advance.
And as we talk about mental health, we're going to talk about the spiritual aspect.
So we just sat through our first talk. It was by Dr. Danny Huerta. He works or is part of the Focus on the Family organization, and it was a great little talk, a good way to start off the convention. My wife and I chose to sit through this one together. We've picked a couple separate talks to go to throughout the rest of the event. I think we've got a couple more of them together, but we've decided to separate so we can hit as many of them as we can. So I think we're gonna head to the next one now, but this was a great talk.
All right, Math Made Accessible, Techniques for Teaching Kids with Learning Differences, and Teaching Self-Control, the Success Superpower. I am 202C, you are 202B.
All right, so we just got out of our first separate class, and so we're kind of sharing our notes and going over what we learned. So I sat in on the workshop with nicolethemathlady, and it was a really cool little talk about math and how to find different strategies for different styles of learning. And it was really good because I think Dominic and Bodhi are both going to be different learning styles, so it was a good little breakdown on how to prepare for that. Do you have anything good?
Yeah, I sat in with Dr. MelanieWilson. She's the author of Grammar Galaxy, teaching about self-control and how that, that is just something that you learn. It's a behavior that is all within you, although 60% of it is genetic. You still have 40% within you to learn and train yourself on how to have self-control. And just the amount of factors there are that play into how you can drain the self-control in your body, and ways to recognize being drained and noticing that you're going to lose that, you know, that self-control. Simple things just like being fatigued, being hungry, being dehydrated are just simple ways that you can drain the self-control in your body and find yourself being very, you know, short-tempered or quick to, you know, get angry. So,
Sweet.
Took away a lot. I like that one.
All right, so on to the next one. We're going to be together again for this one. It is, what's this one?
Homeschooling on a homestead.
It is fitting, you know, we're going to go be those people. So we will see you in that class.
Check in soon.
Snack time. So we just wrapped up with our last class of the day. It was how to homeschool on a homestead. And it was good to hear that we're not alone in the fact that life gets a little chaotic when you're trying to do homeschooling and all the homestead chores, and just to embrace bringing the kids out and learning on the job and allowing them to find what they're interested in and really focusing on that and letting them kind of choose their own path. And so we're gonna go get some dinner and then go home and check on the kids, and we will see you in the morning for day number 2.
Ayy, I got the recipe, never gonna let any op get the best of me. Thought it was distance, but haters is next to me. Talk to the spirit, you know I've been heavenly. Company definitely show your trajectory. This ain't it, this cause I say it respectfully. It's time to eat up, red like a speeder. Taking it deeper and that's how it better be. I never let the comparison get to me. I just remember the promises meant for me. I know the enemy and that he's sent for me.
Day number 1 was awesome. It was a shorter day, it was a half day. It was only 3 sessions, and then we walked around the exhibit hall for a while to look at some curriculum and some other things. And I actually got to meet John Lovell, who is the originator of the WarriorPoetSociety. He is a YouTuber that I've been a fan of for quite some time. He has a lot of knowledge on firearms and tactics and just how to protect your family and be a strong leader in the family. And so that was really cool to meet him and get to talk to him for a minute. And I got a cool little patch for my fanny pack. And now you guys all know I'm in the fanny pack gang. We had to stop and get gas, but I was just thinking how blessed I am as a homeschool dad, and being able to work from home, and homeschooling is such a blessing not to have to deal with all this craziness in the morning. The traffic is insane. It's been 4 years since I've had a real job, so I have absolutely forgotten what it's like to get out in the mornings. But we are about to hit the road again, and see you in a minute. Well, we made it back to the Greenville Convention Center for day number 2 of the Great Homeschool Convention. The Greenville Convention Center is located right next to the Greenville Municipal Airport. We are about to head inside. We got here a little bit early today so we could sit down and eat a little bite before we went in. So let's go on in and find our first session of the day. Alright, so we just split up and I am headed down to my classroom and went from being early to being late. I found a guy that I met yesterday and we talked for a bit. Turns out he was a firefighter also, so we just talked about that. He was a firefighter out in California, so he had some cool stories to tell about being on the helicopter out there, so I thought that was pretty awesome. But we are about to head in here and get started for the day. So I just got finished with my first session of the day, and it was with Bryan Davis. He's an author. I think he said he's written 35 or 40 books. So it was a class on how to tell a hero's journey story, and I think that would help me be able to communicate with you guys better and just how to tell the story of my life. So I really enjoyed sitting through that class and getting to learn some of the tricks and things that he does in order to author a hero's journey story. And here comes Katie, so we'll figure out what she learned in her class today. What was your class about?
It's either going to come to or you're going to connect with yourself like never before.
So we just came back to the car to take a little lunch break between classes real quick. And I was telling Katie about the last class that I went to. It was called Boys Are Us, and it was really cool. He asked kind of what are we expecting to get out of the class, and I asked him a question about just boys being aggressive and what level of aggression is okay, or does he consider okay. That turned out to be like the first slide, and the whole first half of the presentation was just the fact that boys are more aggressive. So it was another neat class to sit through. I'm glad I picked that one. So we're gonna eat real quick, and then I think our next classes are split up again too. So we're gonna go
Take some notes and put our heads together.
take some notes and put our heads together. So we just hit our next break, and the last class was really neat. It was just kind of an overview on how to schedule your day, how to structure your homeschool day to not be overwhelmed. And I'm guilty of trying to schedule too much, I think, and I get frustrated when we get off that schedule. So it was really good to hear somebody kind of reassure me that it's okay to be flexible and to just have fun and to stop if things get frustrating for either the kids or myself. So next we are headed back into the ballroom for John Lovell's talk. It is called Becoming a Warrior Poet. It's really cold in the ballroom, so we're out here soaking up the sun for a minute to try and warm up. But we will see you on the inside.
What is that? What is a woman? Someone who thinks they're a woman. It's just rounding around right there.
So we're back outside after our last class. It was with John Lovell, and it was a really good class. Me and Katie both sat in it together, and he talked about how to model a good marriage and to just be a good role model. And that's really the foundation of building good warrior poets, is to just lead by example and to do hard things and to show them the traits of a good warrior poet. Everything from leadership, bravery, communication skills, love, humility, all the things that come along with being a warrior poet. So we're about to walk around for a minute and then head back inside for our next round of classes. So we just wrapped up day number 2, and we are about to head home. We did a quick lap around the exhibition hall before we left, and we picked up a cool art book and some new science curriculum and got to talk to some cool vendors. We are ready to go home and get some rest so that we can come back for day number 3 and learn a lot more about just how to be a better homeschool parent. And tomorrow should be a good one. We're gonna sit in on a talk with Joel Salatin. I think it's another homestead class. All right, so we're ready to go for day 3 of the Great Homeschool Convention. We're about to hit the road, head back to town. We got double the coffee, and Katie's got double the sweatshirts today. We're in the same boat as a lot of homeschool families. We're on a single income, so money's a little tight. It wasn't the most expensive tickets in the world for this event. It was actually very reasonable, but we're trying to make the most of it. So I don't know if everybody was planning to go to every time slot of the event, but we're kind of, I guess, overachievers because we found some classes for every time slot. So we're gonna go get started for the day. We got another long day, but we're excited. It's been great so far, so we're ready to go learn a little bit more.
Come on, come here, come a little closer. Don't be afraid, no, I don't wanna hurt you. A little more,
Alright, so we're a little bit early and we just stopped up at the observation point at the airport, watch the sunrise, and I think I'm gonna get a couple sets of push-ups in. Feeling the third day lag. We got some coffee on deck, but it's not quite doing the trick.
Move, body, move, your body, move, body, move, your body, take you.
You're running through my mind with a shotgun. I'm running out of time, but I'm not done yet.
Alright, so we're back at the Greenville Convention Center for day 3, and I think the first talk of the day for me is with John Lovell again. I think this one is titled Dangerous Dads, so I'm obviously a little excited about this one. Katie's got a couple cool classes picked out today too, and I think I'm gonna go sit in on a class with Joel Salatin, which is super awesome. I had the chance to meet him one time before at a homesteading event. Super awesome gentleman, super knowledgeable. I'm ready to go listen to whatever he has to say.
Great to be with you. Great to be grateful. Comes back a lot of memories. I was a Bob Jones graduate.
All right, so we just wrapped up lunch. We shoved some food in our faces real quick, and now we're gonna head back in. I didn't really record my little afterthoughts for the last 3 sessions this morning because just the amount of information and notes that I took was, I feel like, maybe too much for a brief little talk. So I plan on gathering kind of all my thoughts and what I learned from the whole event and putting that in maybe another video. Every time we see Joel, it's such a great learning experience. Hearing the message in the light of like homeschool parenting and like how to incorporate your kids onto your homestead and how to make them want to be a part of it was a much needed message. So I took a lot of notes, but we're about to head back in and finish up with the last classes for the day, and then probably take another stroll around the exhibit hall and see if there's any last pieces of curriculum or anything that we wanted to grab while it's on sale and a cheaper price here at the convention. Well, if you made it this far in the video, I really appreciate it. And like I said before, the link for registration is below in the description. And don't forget to subscribe. It helps me out a lot. And if homeschooling or homesteading or any of that is something of interest, you should stick around. And we'll catch you later.